आपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरां वितरानपेक्ष्यम् अङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाकिशिखाप्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनित्यं विघ्नाद्रिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन् सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. So we were continuing with Varna Vichara, and of that we have completed the basic introduction to all the Varnas, and we were doing something called Sanyuktakshara. Now, what are these Sanyuktakshara? Addition of two or more Vyanjanas. Doesn't matter what kind of Vyanjanas. It can be Avargiya Vyanjana, Vargiya Vyanjana. Put them together, then they form a conjunct consonant. So this conjunct consonant is called as Sayuktakshara. So the Sayuktakshara, we have to learn a little bit about it. The reason being, whenever we join two Vyanjanas, the Vyanjanas, we have to start understanding which Vyanjanas Ucharana comes first. For example, we are taking, let us say, Tra. Tra is made up of Ta and Ra. So now which comes first? And does both of them get Swarasa Yoga? So all these question occurs. Now, when I start reading, this is also important for Patana Kaushala. The reason being, let us say I am taking a word like this. Now, is this Brahma or Brahma? Which consonant should be pronounced first? Which should be pronounced later? So understanding this, we should know how to read the symbols, how to write the symbols. So for that, we have to decide how they are added. In that case, we get to categorize both these Vyanjanas as primary Vyanjana and then secondary Vyanjana. Now, what is this primary Vyanjana? Primary Vyanjana is that Vyanjana which has Swarasa Yoga. For example, here in this K plus Ta, here we can see that Ta is complete. That means Ta is T plus A. A. So this is primary. Okay. So now this Ta finds a complete akara in representation. That means this takara is complete when we write th. When we add this, which is being added, which is taking it, that needs to be understood. So th is the primary. So th is complete. For tha we are getting ka. Because otherwise, if I change this, let us say I am taking primary Vyanjana as ka. Then what happens? Ka is complete. Ka gets Swarasa Yoga. Then what happens? It is tka, tka, ta, ka, ka, tka. Ka is complete. So ka gets Swarasa Yoga in this sense. So even pronunciation, the sounds will change if we do not know which is the primary Vyanjana. So therefore, we need to understand which is the primary Vyanjana over here. So primary Vyanjana is that Vyanjana which gets Swarasa Yoga. So in this case, whenever we split the word, whenever we split this word, bhakta, when we split this, then what happens? Bha normally plus a, bha. But when we are splitting kta, this, what we do is we split only with respect to primary and secondary vyanjanas, and from the primary we are not separating swara. So now when I'm splitting the ka, I'm going to put it as halantya or half ka plus the is complete. This I can continue. Now when we are symbolizing it, when we are writing it, how do we write this? The primary Vyanjana gets complete manifestation. Most of the time we get complete manifestation. These symbols are added to it. The secondary Vyanjana symbols are added to it. How? If we take over here, okay, there are exceptions, so we'll go for one that has these are all exceptionals. Now when we see over here, the primary Vyanjana is Yakara. So Ya gets complete manifestation. Kh, Kh is the secondary. Therefore, this Kh gets symbolization. Same way, if we take K plus N, N is complete, primary. This gets complete. And then the symbol for G is added to it. For this, whenever Rakara becomes the primary Vyanjana, it has its own symbol. So therefore, whenever Rakara is complete, we always put one line like this. The other way to recognize it is the secondary Vyanjana is pronounced first. Secondary Vyanjana is pronounced first. So when I'm saying K plus Ra, Kra comes, in that Kakara is first. Prakara is next. Kla. Ka is first because Ka is the secondary Vyanjana. Lakara is next. Ksha. K is first. This is also this is a special Vyanjana as spoken about Sayukta Akshara. It has a separate symbol on its own. So the symbol for this is and ampersand sign, it is called as in English. And like and we have it in English, no, like this. So like that we do that, but instead of keeping this empty, we put a line and then we put a cap to it. That's all. This is ksha. This is kya. Mahaprana k plus ya. Again here the k comes first, ya comes next. Ya is the primary Vyanjana, but here the primary Vyanjana is going to end. The pronunciation of which is going to be end, which is going to come in the end, that will be the primary Vyanjana. Gna. Ga plus na. Gna. Na is complete. So it comes in the end. Ga comes in the beginning itself. Because here what we need to understand is Gakara doesn't have a standing on its own. It doesn't have Swarasayoga. The Swarasayoga is towards Na only. So therefore, this is complete and this will support Gakara sound. G, G. I cannot say completely. So G, Na is complete, Gna. So this comes first. The secondary Vyanjana's sound comes first. Primary comes in the end to support secondary vyanjanas. Like that, g and ya. G plus ya. Ya is complete gya. Same way, ra. Whenever rakara comes, the special symbol that rakara has is that what we are considering. So it comes like this for anything. So whenever we take any akshara, let us say we are taking kakara or we can take takara. Takara, we have a special again. Takara, tra we talked about. Tra is where th is the secondary vyanjana because takara is coming first. Ra is complete. Tra. We can write this as like this also, but we have a special symbol for this. We write it like this. Tra. Then going forward, ghra, ghra, same thing. Ghra. When we are taking this to be the secondary vyanjana, and then the primary is rakara, complete rakara, then what we do? We take ghra, gh, complete, but we are taking ra. The reason for this kind of symbolization is because rakara has its own separate symbol, which is very distinct, like that. It is an exception, see, ghra. Huh. The Anunasikas also have a special symbol. What are they? They are usually given a predominance. They are instead of giving it horizontally like this, 1 and 2, they are given a vertical representation. That is, a complete Anuswara is given over here, and then whatever is the akshara, whatever is the varna that comes after it is added over here. That means this is whenever this is the secondary vyanjana, and whatever is the primary vyanjana that you get, that primary vyanjana will be put over here. So this is ka. So ka comes over here. Okay. Shanka, anka, nka. So we find it like this. The same occurs for most of the anuswaras also. This is anga, nga. There is ha. This is a separate one. Ha. So now here the Chavargas anuswara is ch, ny. So ncha. So for that we take a vertical placement, and then we put whatever we have to. This is the primary. This is coming down over here. So for most of the Anunasika, what are the Anuswaras? So ka ka ga ga cha 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 cha. Then we have na. Na we have seen in most of the places, whenever na is the primary, we have seen it to come down. Ga plus na, like this. But this is when it is primary. Whenever it is secondary, what happens is, let us say, plus ga. So for this has a special symbolization. We just take it as normally only. This, the Pronunciation sounds very similar. Nka, nka. But instead of it is nka, nakara. And then the next is na, ha. For na, also the similar, it is not vertical, it is horizontal. So for nakara, na is usually written like this. When it is the secondary vyanjana, then we put only this without this line. And brahmanda. So here n, da. So like this, we have a roughly understandable yojana for most of for combining these Sanyukta Aksharas. So firstly, what we need to understand is, while combining any two Vyanjanas, we need to understand which has the Swara Sayoga, which has the uh, which is that will be the primary Vyanjana. So that primary Vyanjana will be pronounced in the end. Bhakta. K comes in the first itself because it is the secondary Vyanjana. It doesn't have a standing on its own. Ta comes in the end because it has Swarasa Yoga. So therefore, when we write it, this is also a special symbolization because this Bhakta, K, while we are writing it, we can write it like this also. We do this also for the sake of printing. This symbol is used, but for writing we use this also, half ka and complete tha. So like I said, the primary vyanjana is usually given complete manifestation, and the secondary vyanjana gets a half representation in that particular sanyuktakshara. And this can go on when we are talking about I said sanyuktakshara is two or more, so we can have many. So we can have, let us say, we are going for tattva. See, na representation, whenever na is the secondary, this part is kept alone. Rest all is this, what whichever is the primary Vyanjana that we are combining, that primary Vyanjana gets complete manifestation. So symbol of the secondary Vyanjana, complete manifestation of the primary Vyanjana. Usually this is the general rule. There are some exceptions, like when we are talking about the symbol is not exactly any part of the, it is just a line like this. So when we add, let us say more, that is the more than one Vyanjana. Again, the same rule applies. The first one, that is the one with the Swarasa Yoga, is going to be the primary one. So this will always come in the end. Okay, while pronouncing it. Then the other two, among the other two, we have to decide which is the first secondary, second secondary. That means for pronouncing, the first secondary gets first place in saying, and then the second one gets the middle place. Last one is the primary one, complete. So tattva has two tas. So ta plus ta is represented like this. First we add these two. First we add these two. Because va is complete. We are not going to change anything over here. Va is complete. So tat, but there is no swarasa yoga. Tat. Then we add va. Va is complete. So then what happens while writing the symbol for this Sanyuktakshara, Va manifests completely in script. Then Takara, we take this part, only this part, without this. So this is going to be the symbol for that. So there can be many multiple additions. So based on the word, how the complexity of the word, there are some like that, more than two, three like that, it happens. And we'll see. And it is very difficult to separate them at times. Um, Dva, Dvya, that is Dakara, Yakara, and then Vakara. So this Yakara is also secondary, this Dakara is also secondary, only Va is complete. So now how do we write it? First, we have to add the secondaries. So when we add it, it becomes Diya with this. Now I have to add Vakara to it. Add Vakara to it. And this Vakara is complete. So now what I do, first I write Vakara because it is complete. I cannot change anything over there. Then I take the half part of Diya. Divya. It's difficult to separate it many a times. Huh. Rakara, as I said, whenever there is a when Rakara gets its turn, it takes this symbol. Va is special in this because it looks very odd. But usually, what happens, whenever it comes to the manifestation is not beside it. Usually, it is beside it, but it is below it. Dva is written like this. Dhya. Rest all is similar. Dhya primary is ya, and dha is the secondary. It gets the first pronunciation and the first symbol. So the symbol we are taking, and then ya complete manifestation, complete akara belka. Yeah, dhva I already spoke about it, and that na also we have done. See, this is 3. Now here we can take up the symbol, actual, the special symbol for tra, because we are seeing that these two are already known to us. Half takara plus complete rakara. So we are taking this to be the symbol. But without that also we can combine it. Usually what we do is we combine these two first because this is complete. Where the difference occurs is because this is Ra. So Ra, as we learned, it has a special symbol where it only comes like this. So this we can change how Na and The is combined. Our normal rule. Where there are two or more, then both the secondaries are combined first. So nt, nt. Now Ra. So I add the Ra symbol and then I cancel this. So ntra it becomes. While combining with the sounds, it is very similar. There is no separation of anything. Takara is half, nakara is half, Ra is complete. Only because Rakara has its separate symbolization, we have to use that. Again, Rakara symbol, na plus na. So Sayuktaksharas and just have to be understood in 3 sense. What is that? Just scroll back up. So we have to understand all these things in 3 sense. What is that? First one, how do we add them? How do we add them? So which comes first? Which comes second? This we need to understand. The one that comes second in first is that one. The second one is how to pronounce the sounds. Which sound comes first? Which sound comes next? This we need to understand. Third one is how to read them. Which word should I take first? Which word should I take second? So now we know b, ra. In this, which is the primary vyanjana? Can we split it? Can anyone tell me which is the primary vyanjana in this?
Ha.
Ra,
Primary?
na?
Ha is the
Ra, na?
Ha.
sorry, ra. Sorry, Brahma, no? For Bra. Yeah.
Ra is complete. So b is secondary. B, b, ra, bra. Okay. What about
Here, Ha is
ha,
primary and
ha,
Im is secondary.
ha? So now when we pronounce it, we have to say Brahm, ha. Ha is complete. So there are rules actually. When we go for consonants, pronunciation is a different section of it. Many people say Brahma is correct. Based on symbolization, the Matabheda is primarily because of my script and Devanagari script. My script, as I am talking about the regional scripts. For example, when I take Kannada, no, in Kannada, what happens? The secondary gets complete manifestation, and we are giving the symbol of the primary. Like for example, the same bhakta, ukta, what happens? Kakara is complete. Okay. Takara gets one symbol like this. So therefore, coming from one script to Devanagari, we get confused as to what to do. In Devanagari, this is what is relevant, where the primary Vyanjana usually completely manifests, unless if it is Ra, Ra gets one particular symbol, so it doesn't manifest. If then in the secondary Vyanjanas, if it is any of the Anuswaras, that is or we have Chakara, and then na, then they have their own. These two usually get vertical representation rather than horizontal representation, so they manifest completely. We will see this completely. This also we will see completely. Below that, the primary Vyanjana comes. So if I'm adding ka to it, then it becomes nka. If I'm taking cha to it, ncha or ja, patanjali. So like that. And nakara is again back to the same process, where it is half written, and then whatever this is the complete, that is the primary Vyanjana, it gets its this thing over there. So while reading it, what we need to understand, whatever is half written, that should be spoken first. Then whichever is complete, that is to be spoken in the end. Why? Because it is a complete Vyanjana. Swara Sayoga has already been written to it. And then while splitting it, the primary Vyanjana should not be split from its Swara. There is no need to write the plus a over here. The reason is because takara is complete over here. So to indicate while splitting, then we have to show it this way. So ksha is kakara plus shakara. In this, which is primary, ksha is primary. So therefore, I don't need to add akara to it. I leave this as it is. But ka is secondary. Therefore, I am adding this. There is no swara sayoga for it. Now I am adding like this. This becomes ksha. So this is a whole chapter on uh, Sanyukta Akshara. Again, it can only be understood after practice. Otherwise, we'll get confused. See here, despite being a secondary, Lakara also has that vertical format instead of horizontal. Horizontal, usually we take half of the secondary, but whenever vertical formats come, we take complete manifestation of both the aksharas. Like we saw Anka, no? See, both of them are actually coming. It is just a smaller version of Ka, but Ka is complete. In the same way, Lakara also has this problem. Wherever I have to add la, shla, shla also I get to do that only. Shla, Lakara is complete. Shla I can do right like this. Shloka. But for with Ka, what happens? It changes. It changes to where kakara is complete, and then this is for printing purpose only. While writing it, it can be written like this also. Half ka and then la is complete. This is the general rule. This is the general rule where the primary vyanjana is going to get complete manifestation. The secondary vyanjana is only going to get half the manifestation in script. That's all. So at any point of time, there is another way of writing it. The other way of writing it is I am not going to combine at all. Why I am not going to combine? I'm going to write this only. Whatever has been given over here, this also happens where compound letters, 2 or 3 more vyanjanas when I add, I am not able to manifest it. So what happens? I am not able to type it into it. So this comes. I can just keep it like this. Kla can be written like this also. In printing, this happens. Most of the times, when they are not able to combine it, this happens. So these are called as Sanyuktaksharas. There are not much of it. It is only practice. It is other than practice, we won't find anything new with this. Pronunciation wise, we need to remember that in the end, it is always the primary, because the secondary doesn't have any standing on its own. Swarasa yoga. That's all. Tattva, tva, tsa, tma. All makara is complete. See, siddha. Why dha in the end it becomes mahaprana is because mahaprana dha is complete. This the id is not complete. So siddha. Now we know it is not siddha. It is siddha. The mahaprana dha must end. The whole word. Padma. So we can see Dya, Vidya, Dra. So nothing much new about it, but it can only be understood through practice. So again, this work book also I will post it, and certain aksharas, there are words given. So nyaptihi, nyaptihi, samapta, pa plus ta. So in this, which is the primary one? Ta is primary. Pa is secondary. So understanding it is much easier when we do it with words. So better to practice it, and then we will be able to understand it a little better. So I'll post this for self practice. So we will, there's not much to it. There is no categorize, there is categorization based on pronunciation, but that is basically based on the sthanas and all those things what we learned. So predominantly it follows, or what follows, the following is for the secondary vyanjana follows most of the first primary vyanjanas sthana. So we need to remember the sthanas for all these things while pronouncing it. So accordingly, the particular vyanjana, it gets its ucharana. So that is also given. That chart is also given over here. Yes. So the chart is also given over here. So based on this chart, we can see that what are the kantha gets wherever kakara is involved, it gets kantha, because we know that akuha visarjaniyam kantha. So all the kavargas, wherever they are involved with any other aksharas, it takes predominance. So they are all used to kantha. Then wherever chakara comes, talavya. So usually what we have to understand is, as against Vargiya Vyanjana and Avargiya Vyanjana, Vargiya Vyanjana sthanas are more predominant. So they take precedence. We have to follow the Vargiya Vyanjana sthanas, and we will find accordingly. That's all. So wherever takara comes, danta. No? So therefore, all the takara, ta plus anything, we are combining that ta, danta we have to understand, because they are much more predominant as compared to any other avargiya vyanjana. Vargiya Vyanjana, when we combine also, it is mostly with respect to which one becomes necessary. We can see that the um from kantha to danta to oshtau, the necessity for pronouncing becomes necessary in the lower levels. I cannot pronounce takara without touching dantas. So therefore, compared to this upper ones with the lower ones will take more dominance over the upper ones, like that. So all scientific, and they have designed it in such a way, and they have presented it in such a way, it takes a long time to understand it over time. So we will practice it and we will try to understand it. As to this will be posted, and I would say again, for as we did for the first part, kindly practice with this, and practice with the words, practice also the pronunciation part of it. Let me conclude this.
Mahodaya, I have a doubt. You
Um,
you combine two tas, na? I think tattva.
huh.
Because in that also ta first ta is also complete, na Mahodaya.
No, t, it is it.
Then how we pronounce it as tattva then?
Second one, no.
Ah, you
See,
had added two tas, it.
this is the, this is the, this is it. That's all.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
If I add akara to it, then it becomes it.
So it is so two it only.
Ha.
Okay.
I have one small doubt, Mahodaya.
Can you post it in the group, Bhagini? It's almost, my meeting is almost about to end.